Have you ever wondered how a modern luxury town really gets made? I'm not talking about just bricks and mortar. I mean how the idea of it, the whole identity, is built. Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We're going to deconstruct the blueprint for a town like this, using an insider's guide to Jupiter, Florida as our case study to see how a lifestyle destination is actually designed and sold.
Okay, so first things first, let's start at the foundation of this whole blueprint, the promise. What's the core identity that Jupiter is trying to sell to the world? What's the big idea?
And boom, right out of the gate, the source material hits you with the main selling point. It's not just about being on the coast, it's about an exclusive version of it. The whole pitch is that Jupiter gives you all that charm, but without the glitz or the insane crowds of its neighbors. It's selling privacy, a sense of authenticity. And they don't just leave that promise of exclusivity hanging in the air. Nope. They ground it in a very clear economic reality with this number: the median household income. This isn't just a random statistic, it's a signal. It tells you, loud and clear, exactly who this brand of coastal living is for. And these demographics, they start to paint a really detailed picture of the ideal resident, right? That median age of 47, that points to a pretty established crowd, maybe mid-career or even early retirees. The smaller population means it doesn't feel like some sprawling city. And with over half the residents holding college degrees, the image you get is of a sophisticated, well-off community. Okay, so a promise is one thing, but how does that actually translate into what you do every single day? Well, the answer is in the very specific pillars that hold up this curated lifestyle. And check this out. They literally present the lifestyle like a menu of high-end choices. Notice how it's not just dining, it's tropical luxe at a spot like Guanabana's. It's not just shopping, it's waterfront retail at Harborside Place. Every single activity is branded and super specific, all designed to reinforce that upscale but still kind of relaxed coastal vibe. And then they drill down even deeper, name-dropping specific brands that are basically cultural signals. You're not just working out, you're at a luxury athletic resort. You're not just grabbing dinner, you're at a restaurant co-owned by Michael Jordan, a global icon. These brands are all so carefully chosen to project this image of health, wealth, leisure, and success. In this quote, which is pulled straight from the source guide, it perfectly captures the entire marketing strategy. The message is crystal clear. Buying into Jupiter isn't just about getting a house. It's about adopting an identity, a whole mindset that values this specific mix of privacy, wellness, and casual sophistication.
Okay, so you've got the daily vibe down, but how does this blueprint go beyond just the day-to-day to create a real sense of community? Well, it focuses on the long-term stuff, the investments that really matter to families.
Education is a huge piece of the puzzle. The guide showcases this dual strategy to appeal to all sorts of wealthy families. On one side, you have A-rated public schools like Jupiter High, which signals a strong community-backed system. But on the other, you have elite private options like the Benjamin School, offering prestige and exclusivity. It's all about providing choice, but at a very, very high level. And to create that social pulse, the town has this whole curated calendar of events. These aren't just random parties. They're recurring, family-friendly festivals that build tradition and strengthen community bonds. It ensures the social life is just as planned out and appealing as everything else. And then, to really round out the picture, you have these cultural institutions. They add a layer of depth, some real sophistication. The historic lighthouse gives it a sense of legacy. The theater brings in highbrow entertainment. And the Marine Life Center adds that touch of eco-conscious education. It's like this perfect trifecta of history, arts, and science. All right, and now we get to the big one, the culmination of this entire blueprint. How do all these pieces, the promise, the lifestyle, the community, get packaged and sold as the ultimate asset, the real estate itself? So the financial landscape is laid out pretty clearly with a massive spectrum of investment options. You've got your so-called entry-level condos starting around $500,000 all the way up to waterfront estates going for over $15 million. And this tiered structure, that's the key insight. It creates this built-in path for you to move up, all within the same town. This is so interesting because it shows us that Jupiter isn't just selling a one-size-fits-all product. It's offering totally distinct lifestyle packages. You can go for the super elite privacy of the Bears Club or the more social, walkable, family-friendly vibe of Abacoa. Each one offers a different definition of luxury, and they cater to different buyers, all under the same town brand.
So the whole real estate portfolio is basically structured like a journey. You can start out in a cool beachside community like the Bluffs, then upgrade to a bigger family home in a place like Rialto when your needs change, and then ultimately you arrive at an ultra-luxury estate in Admiral's Cove. It lets residents keep reinvesting and climbing that ladder without ever having to leave the Jupiter ecosystem.
So in the end, the whole sales pitch is framed around this idea of a lifestyle ROI. The argument is that your return on investment isn't just going to be financial. Yeah, you get the property appreciation and the Florida tax benefits, but more importantly, you get the daily intangible returns, wellness, community, and access to that whole curated life. It's sold as a truly holistic investment. So what we've really seen today is the intricate blueprint for engineering a luxury lifestyle destination. By breaking down this guide to Jupiter, we can see how every single detail, from the demographics to the dining to the real estate, is all designed to sell a complete and, let's be honest, a very compelling identity. And it really leaves us with a fascinating question, right? What does the growing demand for these perfectly packaged communities say about what we're all aspiring to today?